How's it going, everyone? And boy oh boy, this is going to be a rather negative video on PlayStation Plus. And some of you guys honestly might be thinking that I am overreacting, that this isn't that big of a deal, that I get upset about everything, but honestly, PlayStation Plus Extra has been a rather mediocre service. I actually think there was a lot of quality with PlayStation Plus Extra when it initially launched back in 2022, when you had games like Stray get baked in there right out the gate. But now, we are once again heading into a new month, and that means some games will be leaving the service. And obviously, this happens every month, and that is not the major point of contention. The fact is, some games are gonna get added to the service, some games are gonna leave the service. That's just how subscription services work. If you guys are unaware how these deals work, is Sony and the publisher that they want to work out a deal with their game for come to the table, they work out a deal to get the game on the service, PlayStation Plus Extra in this case, for X amount of months. Once that time period expires, then they can either come back to the table and work out a new deal, or they can remove the game from the service. This is always how subscription services have worked. However, you want to know who Sony doesn't have to work out a deal for to get their games on the service? That's right, themselves! Now we are at a point where we are pulling first-party titles from PlayStation Plus Extra, and generally speaking, there is a reason whenever they pull first-party titles. This one, however, I can't really understand. So, let us go over the games that are leaving the service, because outside of the big first-party title that's leaving the service, we've got some notable titles leaving, including a bunch of Square Enix titles. So, Star Ocean as a franchise is getting gutted from PS Plus Extra. That includes Star Ocean First Departure R, Star Ocean Till the End of Time, Star Ocean The Last Hope, Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness. Integrity and Faithlessness is not a great game, but the other titles are fairly good. Till the End of Time is actually a really, really solid PS2 JRPG that's, I believe, in Plus Premium, not in Plus Extra. First Departure R is a port of the PSP title. Second Story R never got added to Plus Extra. Second Story R is still a relatively recent release, and Last Hope was the game released on the PS3 and 360 that got re-released on PS4. Those games are all getting pulled. On top of that, Star Ocean The Divine Force, I should also mention that. That is the somewhat recent Star Ocean outing. I believe that came out in fall of 2022. Actually, quite like that game. Not a blowaway JRPG, but a pretty good one, and one that still goes for a hefty price. So from a value standpoint, those games, all the Star Ocean franchise pretty much being eliminated from PS Plus, that's a lot of value if you're a JRPG fan. Cloudpunk is leaving the service. Cloudpunk is one of those lower tier titles, not in the sense of quality, in the sense of notoriety. It was a budget game when it came out, but that game getting pulled, I do think, is somewhat notable as well. But you know, games like that are gonna come in and come out. Spiritfarer is leaving the service. Another Square Enix title leaving the service is Nier Replicant. That is a major departure for the service, given that that's a game that still goes for $25 or so on sale. That was a nice addition to the library, and I don't think that got added all too long ago, so quick addition and quick removal as well. Alien Isolation is leaving the service, and then Marvel Midnight Suns is also leaving the service. That's a fairly recent addition. I want to say that game got added 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, not that long ago, and it is leaving the service now, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But probably the biggest disappointment out of them all is the fact that Horizon Forbidden West will be leaving the service. Now, yes, I get it. My audience that is watching this channel, that is watching this video, probably owns a copy of Horizon Forbidden West. They probably have it in their library. Look, I own Horizon Forbidden West. I have the game physically, I have the game digitally, and I have it on PC. Like, it doesn't bother me personally that Horizon Forbidden West is leaving the service, but I am assessing PS Plus from an objective standpoint. Why are first-party games leaving the service? Why are first-party games that you don't have to strike a deal to get these games on the service? You own the rights to them. It's been years since Horizon Forbidden West came out. The game should not be leaving the service. You already pulled Horizon Zero Dawn. You're removing legacy PlayStation titles? For what reason? To resell them now? It is just absolutely bewildering, and in this case, you can say that, oh, this is just like every other subscription service. Every subscription service removes their own content, their own created content. Now, gaming versus, let's say, a Netflix is a little bit different because, yes, Netflix is never gonna remove, like, the Witcher Netflix series from their service. At least I don't think they are, because they're not trying to sell that standalone. Sony very much is trying to still sell copies of Horizon Forbidden West, and I guess their thought process is we can get some sales off of this game maybe in the holidays when we put this game discounted, whatever the deal is, and I could certainly understand that, but you want to keep value for a service that not only has been lackluster in value, but you did raise the price of it a year ago, and ever since that price increase, it really has felt like the value proposition increase has gone down. Not only would I argue that removing first-party titles is absolutely whack, and I don't know how you can argue against that, but also, every month, we cover the games that are leaving the service and the games that are getting added to the service. And I don't know if it's going to be the case in September, but there's a lot of months where the games leaving the service, I look at it from a quality and value standpoint, and then I look at the games getting added to the service, and I'm like, man, the games leaving the service, I would value higher than the games getting added to the service. That should never, ever be the case. Yes, you are going to have a churn. You're going to have a little bit of a cycle of games coming in and games coming out, but in the case of Plus Extra, it has been pretty terrible a lot of months. We recently had a month with Remnant 2 and Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Gotta give a lot of credit to that. I did think that month was quite good. And at no point do I expect Plus Extra to be on the level of Xbox Game Pass. That was never my desire, that was never the want, that was never the expectation. What I do expect, especially for a service that you did up the price on, and for a subscription catalog style service, is to offer some quality. There are so many great games that you can add. You can add something like a Dying Light 2. You can add something like a Dead Island 2. Two games that have DLC content coming out. You could not remove first-party titles like Spider-Man Game of the Year Edition when you pulled that just because you wanted to sell Spider-Man Remastered as a standalone title. You pulled Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, and now you're pulling Horizon Forbidden West. We thought Horizon Zero Dawn was getting pulled because there have been rumblings about a Horizon Zero Dawn re-release, and I would imagine that at some point that potentially could happen, but the Forbidden West delisting is just completely baffling to me because it's not like they're gonna re-release Horizon Forbidden West, although they do have LEGO Horizons coming out in the fall. I'm sure Horizon Forbidden West is a game that they're gonna discount in the holidays, and maybe it's an idea of, hey, we can get some sales off this game, which I entirely expect you probably can. You probably can get some sales off the game come this holiday, but don't you want to keep some value on PS Plus Extra? Why are we pulling first-party titles? That is certainly something I do not want to see become regular occurrence. PlayStation Plus Extra, the first-party catalog really should be one of the drawing cards to make you subscribe, and then the third-party output, obviously, that is going to cycle in and out. That is going to have games come in and out. I would like some better quality in terms of the games coming in and out, but it is what it is as far as that's concerned. But we certainly need to call out first-party titles leaving the service. That's always gonna be super lame. No other subscription service from what I know does that. Does Ubisoft Connect, their service, does that do that? Does that release top tier games in their subscription service and pull their own vault catalog titles? Like, come on now. No other subscription service from a gaming standpoint is doing that outside of Sony with PS Plus Extra, from what I know and from what I can gather. EA Play doesn't do that. Ubisoft Connect doesn't do that. Xbox Game Pass certainly doesn't do that. But that'll do it for me. Game Pass does, to be fair, do that when a licensing agreement goes up. For example, with Forza Horizon, like third-party licensing deals with the car manufacturers or so on and so forth. But actually intentionally delisting so you can resell the game standalone, that's wild from a first-party standpoint. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. I'm sure some of you guys are gonna be like, oh my god, he's freaking out for no reason. Look, you just let stuff like this get away and you can't, and you don't call it out, they're just gonna get away with more and more, and then Plus Extra is gonna end up being an absolute trash service if you still think it does have value. And I do think it does have value, but man, it's been losing and losing value over the course of the last year. That'll do it for me. Your thoughts down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.